Here's the formations tonight. Let's look at the home side Grimsby first of all. They make one change from Saturday's 3-0 home league win against Torquay, which took them to the top. Andy Parkinson, number 11, who missed the game with shin splints, replaces Terry Barwick. Ex-Spurs trainee Kieran Toner's on the bench. He's actually made no senior appearances for the club yet. And interestingly, there's no substitute goalkeeper on the Grimsby bench. Will that be a gamble? What sort of side have Spurs turned out? Well, it's a strong one. Martin Jol has made 3 changes from the 1-1 draw at Villa on Saturday. New signing Gregor Raziak is cup-tied, so Robbie Keane, Spurs hero at Villa, makes his 2nd start of the season in his 300th English career appearance. Anthony Gardner, who's been an ever-present, is out with a thigh injury suffered in the draw at Villa, so Nabet will make his 1st start. Michael Brown comes in. Jermaine Genus moves to right midfield, and there's no Edgar Davids. He's still out with a groin injury suffered in training on the Thursday prior to Saturday's draw at Aston Villa.
You've named your strongest available lineup. Is that an indication of how serious Tottenham are taking this competition?
I think we have to do it, you know. Carling Cup is an important cup for us. Last year it was, so we try to play with the strongest team as possible.
What kind of challenge do you expect from Grimsby? They're going well in League Two.
They're top of the league, you know. They're doing very well. They're physical side. They're very, you know, difficult to beat with set pieces, corner kicks. So we have to stand up for that.
Jermaine Defoe and Robbie Keane up front because Miro's suspended and Rasiak's cup-tied. You were saying you perhaps don't fancy the 2 small guys. Is there a chance for both of them to prove you wrong?
No, I think it's not up to them. It's up to the team, you know. I think it's not a problem of them. It's a problem for us all. They have to prove, the team as a whole, to prove that we can play with 2 little ones. There's a couple of other teams who are doing that. You can do well, but you need a lot of movement. If you don't do that, you know, it's easy to defend.
What do you expect to happen?
Well, looking at the Spurs side, you know, it's a very, very strong side. I would think Russell Slade was slightly disappointed seeing that team. You would hope that 1 or 2, you know, fringe players would have come in. I think the Spurs will be too strong for Grimsby.
Let's find out if Trevor's right. It's a full house at Blundell Park. We're there as well, and so is Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Grimsby Town, top of the league. It's not often they've been able to say that in the long history of this football club, perched on the banks of the Humber Estuary in a part of the country that many football fans pass by, but few ever stop to visit. The arrival of a famous Premiership team packed with international stars really couldn't have been timed better. As you've heard on Saturday, Grimsby went to the top of League Two, the first time for 14 years that the Mariners, as they're known, have led any division. And they certainly deserve their moment in the spotlight. Grimsby have made a superb start to the season. They've won 6 of their last 7 games, including 3 in a row. And in the last round of this competition, they beat Championship team Derby County away from home. Brian, you started your own playing career not far from here at Hull City. How would you describe the feeling for football in this part of the world?
I think it's very passionate. I mean, we'll see that tonight. I mean, they've never had massive gates, certainly not challenging the likes of Hull City across the Humber, but in their way, it's a very tight, compact ground here at Blundell Park, and it's one that visiting sides have always really struggled to deal with the atmosphere, the noise, when it's been a proper cup-tie type evening, and tonight, that's how Grimsby fans have got to make it.
Well, Grimsby were sweating on the fitness of winger Andy Parkinson, one of 2 players in their team. The other is striker Gary Jones, who played in the final of this competition for Tranmere Rovers 5 years ago. Parkinson is suffering from a shin problem, but as you can see, he is okay. 2 of these players have appeared in the Premiership, fullback Gary Croft for Ipswich and Blackburn, and informed striker Michael Reddy, who used to play for Sunderland.
Well, tonight for big hearts, great determination, and I guess a big slice of luck. If Russell's team are to get a result here tonight, they are going well in the league, as you've already mentioned, Alan, but it's certainly going to be a big evening for these players, especially the goalkeeper, Steve Middlehall, who could really end up having a very busy night. A couple of areas where they might get a bit of joy is through the pace of Andy Parkinson down that left-hand side, and also, as Trevor was mentioning in the studio, set pieces. You know, Spurs aren't a big side, and Grimsby do have the likes of Whittle and Rob Jones, Gary Jones, who could be a real handful, but the key of that is whether the delivery is right, and that's what they need to really concentrate on.
Well, Spurs will unleash Jermaine Defoe and Robbie Keane on the Grimsby defence. It's a combination that Martin Jol doesn't really believe in, but both his big target men are unavailable tonight. The Egyptian Mido is suspended. Polish international Rasiak cup-tied. Anthony Gardner has a thigh injury that could keep him out for several weeks, so the experienced Nuruddin Naibet deputises in defence, and Michael Brown gets a starting place in midfield.
Well, Martin certainly made his intentions clear, hasn't he, with the lineup that he's gone with tonight. This back four as a unit is still getting to know each other, but there's a lot of experience in there. It's that midfield four and front two that should really give Grimsby plenty of problems if they are playing at full tilt. I think Carrick has been in outstanding form, and his promptings from the centre of the park will be one of the many situations that you do feel Grimsby will have to deal with. And the other obvious threat, of course, is the front two. Martin might not always be comfortable playing them together, but they're both excellent individuals, blessed with a lot of quality.
It's certainly a night to remember for Grimsby skipper John McDermott, who plays his 700th game for his only club. McDermott made his debut over 18 years ago, and that was before the Tottenham substitute Aaron Lennon was even born. Tonight will certainly provide Grimsby with a big payday, and victory here, of course, could lead to even greater riches for them. Remember, the tie has to be settled on the night. There'll be extra time and penalties if required. Graham Laws is the referee. Tottenham in their change strip of all blue, and make no mistake, this is potentially a very tricky tie for Spurs. In recent years, Grimsby have knocked out 3 Premiership teams in this competition: Leicester City, Sheffield Wednesday, and most memorably Liverpool, who they beat 2-1 at Anfield. So Spurs have been warned. Easy header away for the giant centre-back Jones. And he'll win most of the aerial battles tonight, that's for sure. At 6'7", he's entitled to. One of the tallest players in the game, up against the quick, lively Keane and Defoe.
Well, they'll certainly want to stretch Grimsby very early, won't they? I mean, Defoe maybe to float around and try and just play off Robbie Keane. They've both got the potential to do that. But they really need to keep this back four at full stretch, because if they can do that, then that'll give the likes of Michael Carrick some room to play in midfield.
Ready dispossessed at the other end. He's a striker in form, scored 2 superb goals here against Torquay at the weekend in the game that saw Grimsby go top of League Two. His header on to McDermott, and a potentially dangerous cross. Bolland just waited for the bounce. Croft with the cross. They've got 2 big men in the middle, Ian Reddy and Gary Jones, but offside the verdict.
Certainly when that ball came in from Gary Croft, you can see he's got one thing in his mind, and that's to look for Gary Jones, and then think that Michael Reddy in their picture at the moment will just feed off any situation.
Spurs, obviously, with their superior skills and experience, will be expected by most people to win this. But there have been many famous casualties in this competition and the FA Cup over the years. Spurs certainly treating their opponents with respect. You can see that from the team they fielded. Here's Keane early on, and his ankle wrapped. Little the culprit, and a very dangerous free kick for Grimsby to concede.
Well, they weren't disputing this, were they, Grimsby Town? Fabulous bit of skill, isn't it, from Robbie Keane? He looked incredibly sharp and bright when he came on as a substitute at Villa Park on Saturday. He'll be looking to carry that on here tonight. So a good opportunity for him. He hasn't always been a regular, has he, in this side, and he'll really want to make a point.
Plenty of candidates again for this Tottenham free kick. This is not the situation Grimsby wanted so early in the tie. Parkinson just helping his goalkeeper Mildenhall to get the wall lined up. Looks as though it could be Defoe, but there are other candidates. With his back to goal, it is Defoe.
Good pace on the free kick, wasn't it? Certainly the area where the goalkeeper's showing him, and he's saying, there you go. Well, I'm not sure whether he knew that was going to go wide.
Missed a penalty, of course, didn't he, against Aston Villa at the weekend, and he's gone 4 games now without a goal.
We know he's got a lot of quality, and we know that already at such a tender age he's got a very good pedigree of scoring goals. So, you know, players like Defoe, Keane, will be looking for opportunities, like the likes of Grimsby, that they can get back on the goal-scoring charts.
Little did well against him then. Gina's threatening for Tottenham. Good tackle by Jones. Carrick. There's Andy Reid. No test at all for the Grimsby goalkeeper.
Well, I said about the fact that Tottenham need to start well here tonight, just to make sure that Grimsby don't get any encouragement. And I think that the pace and the tempo of their game is certainly encouraging from a Spurs point of view.
Spurs ended a run of 3 games without a goal when Robbie Keane scored at Villa on Saturday. It was their first goal in over 6 hours of football. They've won 2 of their 6 Premiership matches so far, drawn 3. The only defeat came against Chelsea. Poor kick by Mildenhall. He's played every game since he signed from Oldham Athletic in the summer. There have been huge changes here. 12 players left in the close season, 13 came in. Very unusual for such a new-look team and squad to gel so quickly and so well. Staltieri on to Carrick. Tottenham themselves with plenty of new faces, of course. Keane trading off the shoulder of the last defender, something he's done so well in his career. Brown. Staltieri. Nabat. And Michael Brown again. Here's Lee. On to Reid. He regained his place in the starting lineup on Saturday. Decent looking cross. Keane coming in on the back post.
He does brilliantly to win that header, you know, against Rob Jones. But he's incredibly unselfish, Robbie Keane, because he's just tried a little header down to Jermaine Defoe.
Clever skills between Keane and Defoe. And Jones stood strong. Here's Kalala, interesting little player.
Could be a big player for them tonight. I think that he's got a lot of energy, he's tenacious, and really all round the park. That's how Grimsby need to approach this game. You know, they can't really allow just to sit off these Spurs players, because if they do, they really will destroy them with their passing and their movement.
They'll have to pass better than that, though. Staltieri clumsily giving it away. Now ready. Nabat had the nous just to hold him up. It's a good ball in field to Parkinson, who's got Gary Jones in the middle as well. Reddy's still available out wide. There's Croft. And a break on here for Tottenham down their left with Young-Pyo Lee. Reid. Brown wanted it back. Now Carrick. On to Staltieri. There's Brown. To have a little ball. Keane in an instant turned and shot and earns a corner.
I think if the keeper had his bearings right, he might well have left that, because it certainly looked as if it was going to go wide. Again, good clever play from Spurs. And I think Grimsby really need to get a little bit closer, start putting these Tottenham players under a little bit more pressure. At the moment they're just sitting off, giving them just a yard or two, and that's all it really takes.
Grimsby feel one of their main hopes tonight is from set pieces. Their first job, though, is to defend one. Comes back to Reid. Well, he took too much time. Kalala wasn't going to give him that kind of time. Parkinson's got pace, but Brown matched him every step of the way. Not a bad ball in for Reddy. Parkinson's there again. Jones on the far post. It was Reid back defending for Tottenham. And certainly when they do break, they break quickly and effectively, Grimsby.
I'm sure Martin Yeo would have been furious if something had come to that, because it was a Tottenham Hotspur corner. The next minute they're having to defend. Good break. It came through, once again, the industry of Kalala in midfield. Talked already about him, Alan, and what he can give this Grimsby side. And a lot of those type of performances, if they are to get anything out of tonight.
Ball by Nabat, gifting it to Croft. Reddy, though, finds himself offside. Well, Russell Slade finds himself riding high after a very difficult first season here at Grimsby, when they finished in their lowest league position for over 30 years. As I mentioned, he's made big changes since then, and so far they're working perfectly. Here's Lee. Keane's layoff to Defoe. Clearance by Whittle, the Grimsby captain. King. Lee. Tottenham do have an excellent record in this competition. They've reached the final 5 times and won the trophy on 3 occasions. And they got to the quarter-final or better in 4 out of the last 8 seasons, including last season, in fact, when they were beaten by Liverpool.
It's a slight problem area for them on that right-hand side. We've seen already Aaron Lennon on the bench, but probably still too inexperienced for Martin Jol to play him in games such as tonight. Routledge still to get fit, and a very promising pre-season. Jermaine Genius is playing down that right-hand side this evening, and I don't think it's his natural position.
Reed back to Lee. Defoe. Stepped clear by Jones, but only as far as King. Now Andy Reid. Lee. Here's Brown. This is Staltieri. Keane. And this is the way a Premiership team would hope to demoralise opposition from the lowest tier, by keeping the ball as well as this, and making them run and chase and work hard. Grimsby did in fact play Premiership opposition at this stage last season and lost 2-0 here against Charlton. They'd beaten Wigan, who were then in the Championship, in the first round.
I think that's fine up to a point. If you're going to allow Spurs, you know, plenty of possession, it needs to be in the right areas, and that's a long way from your goal. And I think they get to that middle third or the final third where Spurs are trying to get the ball into Keane and Defoe, and that's where you have to get a lot closer. At the moment, they look nice and organised. 4-4-2 formation for Grimsby, and I think if Spurs keep passing the ball around and go from left to right and just begin to stretch Grimsby, then you do feel at some point, you know, chances will come along.
I mentioned Tottenham's record. Grimsby also have a respectable past in this competition. They've actually reached the quarter-finals 3 times. Although they'll have to go back 20 years to find the last occasion they did so. McDermott. Cohen coming in from that right touchline. Whittle. McDermott will chase. Macca, as he's known to everyone here. He is in fact the longest serving current player at the same club anywhere in the game in England. Robinson's kick easily cleared by Rob Jones. Ready, challenging King. Robinson always one of the best kickers of a ball amongst the top goalkeepers.
It's interesting listening to Martin Jol saying about having to play the front two of Keane and Defoe. It's not easy for somebody like Paul Robinson, as you rightly said. Great delivery off the deck, but you know, if you're trying to knock balls forward to Defoe and Keane, you're going to have the likes of Jones and Whittle just really coming and thundering headers back towards Tottenham defensive third.
Lovely ball from Carrick to pick out Reed. Brown getting forward. Released by Whittle, who chases back as the free kick's already been taken, the throw in rather. And Lee's cross easily blocked. McDermott looking for Reddy. Very calm defending by Ledley King, at least I hope it was. It looked as though he was going to give the ball away at first. Reddy. He'll be happy with that. First corner of the game for the home side.
Well, we've already talked about how important set pieces could potentially be for this Grimsby side, but the delivery is key. And this is where Parkinson needs to provide the likes of Whittle and Rob Jones, Gary Jones with some decent ammunition to get after.
Jones coming in from the edge of the area. He did in fact score against Torquay on Saturday. It was a shot though, rather than a header. And he won the header. Parkinson. Jones has stayed forward, not a bad ball in. Oh, it was a brilliant save by Robinson to deny Grimsby what would have been a shock early lead here.
Well, it's pure instinct.
Although in fact, the offside flag has come up.
It's pure instinct, but the referee's assistant had his flag up. Paul Robinson wasn't to know, though, and he reacted superbly well.
Here's Lee. Robinson was heroic in Tottenham's draw at Aston Villa on Saturday with 3 top-class saves in the first half when Villa were on top. And although the linesman's flag cut short the excitement, he showed his ability again already here.
The key to that, Alan, is that although it didn't directly come from the set piece, you know, you've got enough bodies upfield to then have a second opportunity to get the ball back into danger. You can clearly see he's offside, but as I say, Paul Robinson wasn't to know that. He really is in an outstanding form at the moment.
He might be called upon again here. Another set piece and another dangerous ball in. Bolland. Turned to see if help was around, and there was none. Lee wins it back and finds Reed. Dangerous play by Reed, going across his own penalty box. He's got away with that. There's Brown. It's a good ball too for Keane. Clever. Defoe offside though.
Very bright play, wasn't it, once again from Robbie Keane. The problem was Jermaine Defoe had nowhere to run. Once he had to check back, and once that Grimsby back four just stepped up a yard or two, it's going to be inevitable he was going to get caught offside.
He has, as you might imagine, a wonderful record in this competition, Jermaine Defoe. 11 goals in 11 previous ties.
What to do with getting one tonight? Couldn't he just break that little barren run that he's on?
Betty's flick on. Jones had anticipated it. Reddy takes on, but fails to get round Lee, but does win the throw for his side. Made a good start, Reddy. Player with Premiership experience, as we mentioned, in his Sunderland days. And he's earned another throw. A lot of people feel he has quality to still go higher in the game. He's the target here for the throw, and he's won it impressively. It's turned into trouble, and Bolland blazes his shot right over the roof of the stand.
I'm sure the Spurs players wouldn't have been happy with their skipper. Bradley King certainly took a little bit too much time dealing with the situation. Once Reddy had tried to trick his way past the Spurs skipper, you can see there, again, good forage by the Grimsby players. That time it was Cohen to win the ball back, set up an opportunity for Bolland. Certainly playing with a lot of endeavour, aren't they, this Grimsby side? And I have to say, we talked about the atmosphere here at Blundell Park. It's a full house. They really do create a sort of intimidating atmosphere, and it's certainly lifting their team at the moment.
Grimsby have won 7 of their 10 games so far. Their only defeats both came here, ironically, against Darlington and Stockport in League 2. They've got a terrific away record. They've won every match on the road.
It's funny talking to the coaching staff beforehand. It's sort of almost a sense of irony that they felt this might end up being like an away game because Spurs would have so much possession.
Haybet, Staltieri, and here's King. Lee. This is Reed, faced by McDermott. And Whittle just took the legs of Robbie Keane.
It's a little clumsy, wasn't it? That's a couple of occasions where Whittle's just been too eager, really, to win the ball back. I have no complaint, really. Quite crude.
Defoe. McDermott with the interception. Goal kick. Well, how about this for an unusual statistic? Both goalkeepers have actually scored in this competition. Steve Mildenhall here with a free kick when he was playing for Notts County. At the other end, England's Paul Robinson. He scored with a last-minute header in his Leeds United days. He finds Brown. Given away by the South Korean international, Carrick. On to Naibet. Keane's given it away. Croft under pressure from Jermaine Genus. Played a sensible ball in behind the defence. Naibet equal to it though. There's Brown, who reached the semi-finals in this competition with Sheffield United. Keane was offside.
It's a long way offside. He just wanted that played a little bit early. You can see that he's just anxious to really run in behind. There's a lot of space and he's very close to being onside. Gary Croft just did enough to step up at the last minute that convinced the assistant on that far side that Keane was offside.
Mildenhall looking for Gary Jones. And he won it. Ready was about to shoot. Naibet took the ball off his toe. Kamala and Bolland battling to win it back. And Parkinson just outpaced by Jermaine Defoe. Grimsby hassling their opponents though, forcing them to play the ball back and ultimately to give it away. But Cohen wasn't strong enough in the challenge against Brown. And then Reed deceived him as well. Good ball for Staltieri. Parkinson has it back for Grimsby. Croft. It's another offside decision, this time against Reddy.
Well, for all their possession, Spurs, they haven't really opened up this Grimsby Town side. They've looked well organised. Russell Slade's side. And, as if they're a unit that want to really work hard for each other and try and get something out of this game tonight.
Lee getting forward here. Whittle got in the way.
Again, good work rate. But sometimes you can only do this for so long. Talking to Russell beforehand, and they had a pre-season and an army camp and got incredibly fit. Pre-season results were good. They certainly started the season well. I think that fitness is going to be tested here tonight because on the side like Tottenham have as much a possession as we've seen so far.
And Reed gets in. Good save by Mildenhall. Reaction. I think he stopped it with his legs. Doesn't matter how you keep them out. First time really that Grimsby have been beaten like that. And that's lifted the Premiership side. Naibet. On to Staltieri. Genus wide right. Now Carrick. Keane got the shout from Defoe behind him. Those two linking impressively at the moment. And the cross towards Keane. Good defending from McDermott. And important too.
Got a pat on the back from Robbie Keane, which was defensive duties that he did, John McDermott. Almost Spurs just upping the pace a little now. Good movement, Keane and Defoe. That was great defending from McDermott.
Midway through the first half of this tie, which has to be settled on the night, remember, and Premiership quality just beginning to shine through now. Grimsby can be pleased with their efforts so far. And they got it back here with Jones. Launched for Reddy. Launched too far.
I just wanted to buy some time. It's a tremendous save from Mildenhall. This is really the first time that Spurs have cut open this well-organised Grimsby defence. And perhaps McDermott could have done better with the situation, but instead he just let the ball run across his body. Reed anticipated the situation. Talked about big night for a lot of these Grimsby players, and I thought the goalkeeper might be a little bit busier than what he's been so far. He came up with an important save.
Tottenham's only previous visit here in a League Cup tie was 14 years ago. They lost 3-0 that night. Gary Lineker amongst the scorers for Tottenham, who went on to reach the semi-finals that season. Jones heading it back in. Reddy's onside this time. And Cohen brushes his man aside. And a chance for Reddy. A very important clearance by Naybet. Keane. Some room here for Reed to run at McDermott. Defoe. Good challenge by Jones. Here's Bolland. McDermott's given it away to Jermaine Genius. And now Brown's beaten him. Keane has peeled away to the back post. Jermaine Defoe coming short. Here he is. Now he's given it away. Cohen. That's not a bad ball for Parkinson, who's got pace. But Naybet has got experience, and sometimes that can nullify pace.
Well, two very timely interceptions from Naybet. The original one when the ball looked as if it might find the head of Michael Reddy, and he just stepped across Reddy and won it. A vital and crucial header. He did very well here. I thought there may well have been a suspicion of a foul against Lee. Cohen certainly barged his way past. A decent ball set up for Jones, and then just when Reddy looked as if he could perhaps convert that opportunity, Naybet stepped in. And then again we saw it moments after with a challenge against Parkinson.
Jones took that well. Cohen shot. Could have easily deceived Robinson, because I don't think he caught it properly.
No, he didn't. No, he just sliced it a little bit, didn't he? Just needed a little bit more pace on the strike.
Andy Reid. 25 minutes gone at Blundell Park, still goalless here. Famous old stadium this. It's been Grimsby's home for over 100 years now. It once held a crowd of more than 30,000 for an FA Cup tie against Wolves many, many years ago. King has the pace to get there ahead of Michael Reddy.
Composed defending, wasn't it, from Ledley King? Well, a couple of half chances, you'd have to say. Grimsby should have given them a little bit of heart. Certainly the scoreline will at the moment.
Brown. Oh, that's clumsy. Parkinson. Held it up well. Bolland. Foul by Genius.
Really a bit disappointed, really. Andy Parkinson didn't go and try and exploit the pace that he possesses. You know, why he didn't go 1v1 against Salteri, really understand, because he has been involved in one or two upsets along the way in his career.
Well, the big targets are up there again, but Robinson was very decisive. Crowd shouting for the shot from distance, but it would have been some effort by Kalala through a crowd of players. Dermot pumping it long again. Whittle's still up there from the earlier set piece. Bolland. There's Croft. Parkinson. Staltieri did well. Not a bad ball by Kalala. Reddy. Parkinson again. Whipped it in early, looking perhaps for Jones, and it came to him eventually. Suspicion of a handball in there somewhere.
Certainly big claims, wasn't it, for a penalty. Challenge at Ledley King in the end.
And the umpteenth offside against Robbie Keane already.
A couple of important moments for the referee to deal with. Certainly the Grimsby fans felt they should have had a penalty. And as this ball falls very nearly invitingly for Gary Jones, how much of the ball did Ledley King get? How much of the player? You know, just little bits and pieces he's looking to try and take advantage of. Well, I don't think he's got anything of the ball, and that was a fair claim for a penalty.
Just another little warning sign for Tottenham Hotspur. Cohen's header on.
That's the type of attitude that they need to show Grimsby. Really get about this Spurs side and just upset their rhythm.
And the League Two team have been encouraged by the last couple of minutes, there's no doubt about that. But Cohen fails to win the corner he was looking for.
Interesting evening for Martin Yole. First visit to Blundell Park. And he's seen his side have a lot of possession without really creating that many chances. Only the one of note from Andy Reid.
Keane's layoff. Well, by Parkinson in the end. I thought it was Grimsby who were going to get the free kick.
The referee thought that Spurs might just have some decent possession, so he tried to allow play to continue. It was the initial foul on Robbie Keane that the referee decided to bring the play back. This is the challenge, and you can understand why.
Well, the previous Tottenham free kick early on in the game didn't come off. That was taken by Defoe. Looks like the left-footed Reid might take this. Genus, the other option. It is Jermaine Genus, and it ended up pretty much where Defoe's earlier effort did.
Can't quite hit the target from those situations. That's two chances they've had. Initial one from Defoe, and that one from Genus. Struggling to get into the game, isn't he, Jermaine Genus? We've seen a lot of the other midfield players on the ball. You know, Reid on this left-hand side, Brown and Carrick. As I say earlier, I don't think it's his natural position to play wide right, but at the moment, you just want to get games under his belt and prove to people that a good signing for Spurs.
Kick on was by Cohen. Ready. Reid's clearance. Bolland should deal with that. Rob Jones. Slice that somewhat. There's Nabet. He might get a long run in that position. Looks as though Anthony Gardner's going to be out for a couple of months with a torn thigh muscle. Good run here by Reid.
Particularly good defending, wasn't it, from McDermott? Looked at one point as if Reid had managed to escape the attentions of the Grimsby right back, but he covered well, McDermott. There's a sense, though, when Spurs have got the ball, that they have to be very careful of the delivery into the front two.
Ready with the flick on. Jones was already making his run. Those two combined very well. The accepted practice is usually one tall target man and one nimble, nifty, smaller striker, but Grimsby go with two big men, and they've caused Tottenham a few problems. Lee. Keane's layoff. Here's Stalteri. Keane. Oh, great skill by Robbie Keane. Two in the middle. Defoe's one of them, and that was close.
Oh, it was a real cutting edge look, wasn't it? And no real surprise, Robbie Keane was very much involved in this move. He was the one that started off. Terrific ball, and when that came back into the box, well, Jermaine Defoe's just looking for some direction with the header. That was a big let-off. You really do expect when the likes of Defoe and Keane are in positions like that, then they really do finish the move off. It's the way things are going for Jermaine at the moment.
Little doing well, but it's broken for Brown. On to the Canadian Stalteri. And this time it's Defoe who loses out to Bolland. nowhere for him to go. He's saying, look, who do I pass to? So McDermott made himself available. As does Reddy now. Oh, silly trip, really, by Lee. He's claiming his innocence.
Just tough ones to give away, aren't they? I mean, you know that Grimsby possess a lot of potential quality from set pieces, and the last thing you really want is to encourage pressure from free kicks or corners. And that's exactly what Lee has just done now. The challenge against Reddy. And again, as I said earlier, you know, the quality from these situations have to be right. It's all right having big players in there.
Whittle has been left unmarked on the far post, and Jones on the near post.
Decent, wasn't it?
Whittle still forward from that free kick. And he's earned his team a throw and the chance to jog back to his defensive position.
I think, as we've seen already, you know, the delivery from the corners or free kicks doesn't have to be brilliant. It just needs to be in the right direction, because you know that the size of Whittle and Rob Jones, they really are going to win their fair percentage.
Owen brings it back. Kalala takes over. It's a good ball. Parkinson. He's gone for goal. What a good effort that was.
Well, I don't know whether this does anything in the air, but Paul Robinson looked at one point as if he could make a real mess of this. Good intentions of cutting inside. It's a long way out. And whether Paul Robinson was deceived with the flight or the pace of the strike from Andy Parkinson, he certainly looked as if he may have made a mess of it, but it was close, wasn't it? Get the manager up on his feet.
And his decision to gamble on Parkinson's fitness almost paid off that. His delivery from the corner wasn't bad either. And once again, as you might have expected, Jones was the player they couldn't cope with.
Just very, very difficult to deal with. Trevor mentioned in the studio at the top of the programme, you know, such as the height advantage, in particular of Rob Jones and Justin Whittle. They are really going to win most of these situations. But it's whether they can find the direction from their headers. That's what the manager's looking for. A little bit of quality in the right areas. Certainly enough encouragement here for Grimsby in this first half to suggest, and I say suggest, that there could be a potential upset.
Around 10 minutes to half-time. Free kick to Tottenham, fouled by Paul Bolland, who was signed in the summer from Notts County. Now Brown. On to Lee. And too much on it. Well, don't forget, we've got another match from this competition tomorrow night. It's on Sky Sports 2. Doncaster Rovers at home to Manchester City. We begin at 7.
This is an important 10 minutes or so, isn't it, towards half-time for these Grimsby players, but the goalkeeper, a slight problem at the moment. Whether it's contact lenses.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. They don't, by the way, it's obviously not going to be a serious problem, but they do not have a substitute goalkeeper on the bench. They have just one young goalkeeper here, and that's a famous name, John Lukic, son of the former Arsenal and Leeds United keeper, who's yet to make his debut. And John Lukic Sr. won this competition with Arsenal even before John Lukic Jr. was born.
He's really being called upon on one big occasion, really, to make a smart save against Andy Reid. Other than that, those players in front of him done a great containing job.
Ready with the flick on. Carrick read it and then gives it away to McDermott. On to Cohen. Good run by Cohen. It's just opened up for him.
It was difficult. Once he brought it inside, there wasn't that much space really to weave a little bit of something special.
And Holland anticipated that well. Reed needed to turn on the pace to get there. Very calm play by Paul Robinson. Brown. There's Galtieri. Genus. On to Brown. Reed again for Tottenham. Keane's already making his run down the centre. Here he is. Jones snapping at his heels.
It's that type of endeavour that really are going to potentially get some joy for Grimsby. If you put pressure on players, the likes of Andy Reid and Michael Brown, Michael Carrick, Jermaine Genius, certainly in that midfield area, you might just get a little bit of joy. And that's what's happened to Grimsby at the moment. I have to say, though, I think really been impressed with their fitness levels.
Cohen. Away by King. Gary Jones again knew exactly where Reddy was. And that combination has worked another throw in for Grimsby. Reddy. Oh, he did well to hook that in. Jones was in the middle waiting.
He's took a knock as well, hasn't he, against Naibet. The referee realises that it's a head injury. He's got to blow quickly.
Very quickly to save Grimsby here, because Genus is on the run, and very impressively so, and looks for Keane, but just got the final ball wrong.
Just had too much on it, didn't he? Did brilliantly, Jermaine Genus. First glimpse that we've seen of the quality that he possesses. The Grimsby players thought that Spurs might have just put the ball out of play, but I don't think they realised that Jones had felt the full effects from that challenge from Naibet moments earlier. He's certainly a battling, strong centre forward, isn't he? And it's an accident. Certainly no intention on the part of Naibet, but this is a terrific run from Genus. Real determination. This is where he's looking for a little bit of quality. Clever run from Robbie King. Knows there's a bit of space in behind the two centre-backs.
Gary Jones scored the winner for Grimsby in the previous round at Derby, and as I mentioned before the kick-off, played in the final for Tranmere Rovers 5 years ago now. They lost 2-1 against Leicester City at Wembley. And it'll take more than a minor knock like that to disturb him. Important period of the game this for Grimsby, you feel. They don't want to throw away their good work so far by conceding this close to half-time. Ready. Oh, I'll tell you what, the cross from McDermott either got deflected or changed direction in the air. I think the former rather than the latter.
That's a big deflection, but just have a look at where Gary Jones is there. It looked as if he could well have been in an offside position. Reddy does well again. He's been a threat in this first half. That is a big deflection. How can the referee not see that? Or the assistant who's at this near side. Don't give a corner.
Grimsby feeling rightly aggrieved about that. Reed. Goal kick. And he's just saying, I didn't see it.
That's where he's looking for a little bit of help, isn't he, from his assistant. And the assistant, you see it, he's right there, almost, what, 10 yards away? He's shaking his head. He'll be getting absolute abuse, won't he, behind him now?
He's very fortunate that the dugouts here are on the opposite side of the stadium. Clearance by Whittle. Brown. Keane. Clever. Here's Reed. Genius has arrived in the penalty area. Defoe's in there too. Step clear by Kalala. Reed. Michael Brown. That's short. Parkinson read it. Croft. On for Reddy to chase, and he will chase. Just got a touch, maybe off his shin or his knee, but took it away.
It's a good run, you know, Alan, because there's a real temptation to go too early and get yourself caught offside, but he waited. Very nearly showing good pace to get into a goal-scoring position.
But there's a problem here for Grimsby with Genus making ground, and then ran into trouble in the considerable form of the giant Rod Jones. Cohen. Linesman had to give that, didn't he?
Yeah. He's only got a one decision, wasn't it?
Harry Cohen on loan, by the way, from the Scottish League club Gretna. Ready. There's Kalala. Hasn't got into the game as yet, but he's a bright and lively little player. Lee's clearance. Here is Kalala. That's better. Parkinson. Good on either foot. He can hit it with his right as well, and it looped off the defender. Reddy's header across the 6-yard box was really dangerous.
It's good pressure, isn't it? Just what they need right before half-time.
They didn't need that, though. Croft easily dispossessed. And this is where they could find themselves stretched, Grimsby. Spurs flooding men forward. Reed. Well, even Naybet, the central defender, had come all the way from the edge of his own box, and that could be a problem at the other end. Parkinson. Genus filling in for Naybet. It's not a bad effort.
Well, you're always looking to work the goalkeeper. That's exactly what Andy Parkinson did. Got stretched at one point, Grimsby, but they responded very positively.
Half-time at Blundell Park, and the Grimsby fans rise to their team, and rightly so. Steve Mildenhall's kept them in it a couple of times with fine goalkeeping, but at the other end, Andy Parkinson has stretched that Tottenham defence. More times for comfort as far as Martin Yeo and the Premiership team are concerned.
We're back at Blundell Park, where it's 0-0 between Grimsby Town, leaders of League Two, and the side who should be scoring by now, should they? Tottenham. Here's Brian Marwood and Alan Parry.
Half-time substitution for Grimsby. Martin Gritton, a Scot from Glasgow, has come on in place of Gary Jones, who's had to stay in the dressing room because of an ankle injury. That's a big blow, really. Nothing against Gritton, but obviously Jones and Reddy was a powerful combination up front for Grimsby in that first 45 minutes, and they're going to miss Jones, Brian.
Yeah, it is a big blow because the combination of those two were really causing Spurs problems. It's a challenge now for Gritton to go and get into this game very quickly, give the type of performance that Gary Jones gave in the first 45 minutes.
Mildenhall with his first job of the afternoon, or the evening rather, in the second half, as King clears his lines. Certainly feels like evening now here. When you climb to our commentary position across the roof of the stand here, you can see the ships in the Humber estuary making their way out to the North Sea, and we've got a real sea mist drifting in this evening.
He'll be bitterly disappointed, won't he? He really would have wanted to play a full part in this game. He's done well, led the line, everything that his manager would have wanted, plus.
They're straight back on the attack here, Grimsby. Gary Croft on to Reddy, gets it back again. Wasn't the worst ball because Cohen had come in from the right wing, has come out to Kalala. There's Reddy, and saw the gap and went for it, and quite rightly earns a free kick.
Well, he's been a threat all evening, hasn't he, Michael Reddy? And between Salteri and Jermaine Genius, that's really where you want to be if you're an attacking player, in behind defenders, getting towards the byline. But again, it's a set piece, and it's an important set piece, so the delivery's got to be right.
It wasn't on this occasion from Parkinson. Here's Bolland. Croft takes his time, but he too fails to find the right ball. It's a very good throw out by Robinson. Lee. Cohen worked well to stop him getting any further down that touchline.
He's done well, hasn't he, Cohen? This Lee does like to get forward. Join Andy Reid down that side.
He's only 21, Gary Cohen, and he played under Russell Slade in the conference at Scarborough.
I just wonder whether they might be tempted to, if they can get him 1v1 against Lee at the far post. He's certainly got that height advantage if they can aim one or two diagonal balls towards the Spurs left back.
Staltieri. Genius. He's run that over the touchline.
I just wonder whether Martin Yole's just tempted to play him inside one, because at the moment he's really struggling. He's got the option of Aaron Lennon on the bench.
Reddy up against Naber. The foul has been given.
Just a little bit too eager, wasn't he, Michael Reddy? Difficult one for Naber to deal with in the first place. There was no real need to push him.
Reid. Back to Ledley King. Lee sees the opportunity to slide it into Reid. On for Brown. Good covering by Jones, and he dealt with the problem. Reid. Well, there's promise in that combination down Tottenham's left, but it's unfulfilled promises yet.
It's made it slightly easier for Grimsby to defend against situations like that, because they haven't had any joy in wide areas, Spurs, and because of that, their players got even more narrow. Haven't really seen an awful lot of Michael Carrick as well, so Kalala's done a good job in midfield, just putting him under pressure.
Brown. Good ball for Keane. Defoe has peeled away to the left and lost his marker for the moment. Staltieri. Parkinson stuck at it well. Wouldn't allow him to make the cross. Here's Genius. Infield to Carrick. Took his eye off the ball. Reddy's challenge, but Carrick was strong. Lee on to Reid. This is better football by the Premiership team. What does Reid do now? He goes for goal, but got his angles all wrong.
Salteri would have been a better option. He's just acknowledging that, Andy Reid, because the right back has made a terrific overlapping run. And this is better quality. Good pace, good movement, always difficult to defend against. But what we didn't see there was Stalteri on this right-hand side, and a lot of space to get into.
On by Reddy, and he suddenly got in. It should have been 1-0.
Well, he looked as if he'd done everything right, didn't he? An initial little flick past Naber. And then when you're looking for some composure, he certainly steadied himself at the moment where he knows what he wants to do, and that's just lob the ball over Paul Robinson. He's almost wheeling away, celebrating before he's made the final contact. And that's where he's going. He's heading towards the fans, but he forgot the important part, and that was to finish it off.
What a chance for Grimsby to take the lead. Cohen. Here's Kalala. Grimsby leading on goal attempts. Parkinson. That's really lifted the home crowd here. Not a bad ball either. Well, the offside flag was raised in the end.
Well, certainly followed where they left off on Grimsby Town in that first half. Worked so well. And a really good period, 15 minutes before the break, and now they've come out. Was he offside? That is very, very close. But academic, really, because they got on the end of it. He's got a feeling now that there might just be something in this for his team, Russell Slade.
I don't know if they heard the half-time scores, but they will have taken inspiration from the news from the Causeway Stadium, where Wycombe, who are 5 places below Grimsby in League Two, are beating Aston Villa. Here's Carrick. On to King. Reid and Lee again in close attendance down the left. Here's Defoe. Reid. King tries to open it up. Carrick. Genus. Now Staltieri. This is where Grimsby can get stretched. Useful cross as well, but very decisive defending by Whittle. And Reddy's on the chase again here. He gives up on nothing. He scored a remarkable goal here at the weekend, running from midway inside his own half. Jones has won it. They've just upped the ante a little bit here, Grimsby, and they're beginning to believe themselves that they can win this.
Spurs are the ones with problems at the moment. Martin Yole will be looking on anxiously. And, I'm sure between him and Chris Hugh may be thinking of making changes, because they're certainly not firing on all cylinders, and they're more than aware now that Grimsby fancy their chances of getting a result here.
And the loss of Gary Jones doesn't seem to have affected them too badly at the moment. Whittle, the captain. Terrific atmosphere now around this famous old stadium. They were founder members of the league, Grimsby. Their history goes back a long, long way. And that stand on the far side, by the way, is the oldest of its kind anywhere in British football. It dates back to the 1890s, would you believe? Staltieri, on to Genus. Naybet. Oh, that's clever from Jermaine Genus. Good play. Lee on to Reid. Keane comes short to receive. Now Carrick. Good ball for Defoe. And on it goes again to Keane. Took a deflection. Away by Whittle. And then by Bolland. Now Tottenham beginning to impose themselves. Brown. Just the wrong side of Keane. Parkinson took a risk.
Did well, Michael Brown, just closing down Andy Parkinson. That's Robbie Keane. A sniff of a chance here. This is good possession play, but very nearly an end product, and that's really where Spurs have fallen down. Good defending from Gary Croft, stood firm. So he's worked hard tonight. He's desperate to make himself a permanent fixture in this Spurs side, but he knows he's got a battle on his hands. Clearly Martin Yole doesn't want to play both him and Defoe up top together on too many occasions. It's through necessity that he's had to pair them tonight, but maybe thinks that they're very similar.
Official attendance tonight, just over 8,200. That's officially capacity these days. Bolland doing well to nip in and win it back. There's Parkinson. Might have been a free kick if the referee hadn't elected to play on. Croft. Parkinson, who's looked dangerous all night. Kalala. That's a useful ball for Bolland. And It's a corner, is it? The referee has a look at his linesman and goes and points for a goal kick.
He's been terrific tonight, Paul Boland. You know, the heartbeat of that midfield, him and Kalala have worked tirelessly in there. They've had to. Sometimes Spurs have had a lot of possession without really being threatening.
Easy for Whittle, but he's headed it straight to Genus. Stalteri. Brown. On to King. Carrick, that's a lovely ball. Jermaine Defoe!
When things are not going for you, in situations like that, you'd really expect Jermaine Defoe to take full advantage. This is better play because it had something at the final third. It's a great ball from Michael Carrick. He looked as if he'd steadied himself, Jermaine Defoe. Everything was right up till the finish. And that's a lack of confidence in front of goal because he really has snatched at that. It's a big let-off, big let-off.
Robinson looking for Reed out on the left-hand side and found him with a quite splendid clearance. Reed's cross, dangerous. Jones dealt with it, but here's Defoe again, and Jones dealt with that as well. Brown bundles his way through the crowd of players.
Great determination from Jones there. 2 or 3 occasions. I just think that Aaron Lennon might have just got the shout here. They really have lacked a bit of quality in wide areas. Really seen enough of Andy Reid on that left-hand side. Quite done enough against McDermott, the right back, and certainly Gary Croft hasn't really been exposed that much down the Grimsby left, and I think that Spurs need to get a bit more width in their play.
Stalteri lucky to have a second attempt. Brown. Reed. Here's Lee. Whittle with the clearance. Spurs will keep the pressure on. Reed's there again. Defoe with a little flick. Clever play from Gritton. Haven't seen too much of him since he came on. Stalteri. Brown. Foul by Boland.
Just up the pace, haven't they, Spurs? They're looking a lot more threatening now. And Martin might just maybe think again about that substitution, but Defoe just desperate, isn't he, to be involved in the game. You know, there's a couple of big chances that have come his way here tonight, and he hasn't converted them.
Well, all it takes is one moment of Premiership quality, and the tide could turn in Tottenham's favour.
He certainly had one-sighted, didn't he, in the first half? Jermaine Genus put it wide from the free kick. As if he's keen to try his luck again.
Referee taking an age to get the wall correctly positioned. It's set up for Reed.
It's a clever little opening, but I think it's probably the last action that Andy Reid is going to see here tonight. Everybody expected Jermaine Genus to just come and strike that, and have a little ball to the side of Reid by Carrick, set him up for the shot. Yeah, and you've got to work the goalkeeper.
And the former Nottingham Forest man looks anxiously to the touchline to see whose number is going to be held up to allow Aaron Lennon to come on. Foul by Gritton on King meantime, and that might allow Spurs to make their change. And it is indeed Reed's number 19 that's held aloft. So the former Nottingham Forest player makes way for Lennon. His third appearance since his move from Leeds. He was dropped down to the bench against Aston Villa on the weekend.
I was going to see what sort of shape Spurs go with. Lennon's coming over to this right-hand side. Genius has gone in one. Michael Brown might just be asked to try and do a job. And the left alongside Lee.
Away by Jones again. Dwelt on the ball a little on this occasion. Bolland. Ready. He's had an excellent game.
It's been superb, you know, everything that he's done with a lot of quality. I said at the top, there's a lot of high hopes for this youngster. He came over from Ireland, went to Sunderland, didn't really fulfil early expectations. And just beginning to realise that the ability that he has got.
Now Cohen. He's peeled away, it's come to Britton. Good turn by him. Not the worst effort either. Whittle was decisive. Britton can only help it on, really.
That hour mark now, and you'd expect Grimsby players to start feeling the effects of the amount of possession that Spurs have had. They're chasing around in every area of the field, so it's understandable that they might just get a little bit ragged.
Problem for Michael Carrick here.
He's a big player for Spurs at the moment, isn't he, Michael Carrick? He's the playmaker, and maybe just gone over on his ankle there. Just tweaked the ligaments. You can see there his foot, left foot goes away from him. Be a worry. They won't want to take any risks with him. They've certainly got Sean Davis on the bench who can do that type of job in midfield.
And they do have a lot of midfield players. Clive Allen, one of the coaches, was telling us before the match that it runs into double figures, the number of
14.
genuine first-team midfielders.
14 he was talking. Maybe Martin Yole's going to come up with a new formation. Everybody's talked about 4-5-1, 5 in the midfield. Maybe they're thinking a few more, but seem to have an incredible amount.
Martin Yole, by the way, reached the semi-finals of this competition as a player in his days in English football with West Bromwich Albion. Ironically, they played Tottenham, lost, and he got sent off. And Carrick is led off. Still looking in pain, but I think ready to come back on.
Certainly doesn't look comfortable, does he?
Facing the wrong way. Carrick's been way back on. Still running a little groggily. Here's Brown. It's an ambitious ball, but Lennon controlled it beautifully and goes for the return. Against Croft, testing him with his pace and trickery. Jones to the rescue again for Grimsby.
This young boy's got real potential. He sort of followed his progress from the age of 14. And high hopes for him at Leeds United. Fans certainly didn't see him fulfil his promise there because the bid was good enough for Leeds to let him go. But, he could be a big player. He could be a big part of Spurs' future.
I think maybe Carrick is now indicating to the bench that he's struggling. Got to stay on for the corner, though. Played back in by Lennon. Touched away by Whittle. That'll be another corner.
I think we're going to see much more of Michael Carrick. Certainly not worth taking the risk. But just short of a week to get himself fit for the next league game.
Ledley King starts to make his run from the penalty spot for this corner, but he's got to delay it and spin out again. And it all came to nothing.
Might be a big disappointment, you know, to Russell Slade. Robbie Keane's got almost a free header. Ball was really rifled in, wasn't it, by Jermaine Genius? You can see their concentration. You know, they shouldn't really be allowing Spurs a free header not with the height advantage that they have in their ranks, Grimsby.
Michael Carrick can play no further part in the tie. On in his place, Sean Davis, who's been out with a knee problem. This is his first appearance of the season in the first team. He played a reserve match last week. Missed 5 months of last season with that knee problem. Under 25 minutes to go, and Grimsby can be proud of their performance so far. They've stood toe-to-toe with the Premiership side, and they have certainly matched them.
So give them a lot of confidence, really, or it should do, for the next month or so with their league performances. Got a big game against one of their local rivals, Boston United, at the weekend.
Reddy felt he'd had a little nudge there from Naibet and complains to the referee.
I think if Britain had taken more of a gamble, you know, he might have got a little bit of joy as that ball went over Reddy's head.
Bolland, hustle out of it this time by Genus. Brown, Lennon. Keane takes over. Staltieri. Oh, wonderful, wonderful play by Lennon. Down shot, deflected away, and it took a double deflection. It's a goal kick.
That has already made a big difference, hasn't he, Aaron Lennon? He's just apologising. Maybe the ball in the box could have been better, but what a little audacious flick, wasn't it, past Croft? These are the areas where I think Spurs have been lacking for the majority of this game. And I think with his quality, his pace down the right-hand side, I'm not sure whether Gary Croft will be able to contain this youngster.
He was only 16 when he made his first ever start for Leeds United in this competition a couple of years ago. Let's flick on here. Brave challenge by Bolland, who gets the free kick. He's been outstanding too for Grimsby.
He has, and this is where really Grimsby need to take full advantage. I just think an open play is going to be really hard for them between now and the end of the game. So when set pieces do come along, the likes of Rob Jones, Justin Whittle, we've seen already a real presence, and then whether they can pick up the little bits and pieces. Are they bright? Are they alert? Can they take advantage?
Rob Jones and Michael Reddy side by side. Martin Gritton in between them. Jones climbed away by Lennon. Oh, that's brilliant skill by Keane. Davis with his first touch finds Defoe. Well, the crowd enjoyed that because it looked for a moment as though Jermaine Defoe was threatening, but Kalala had other ideas. Croft. Reddy. Throw-in's gone Tottenham's way, I believe. Yep. Here's King. Brown with the angle ball forward. Defoe, nice touch, but Jones, who's been immense at the back, read it again.
I think the two centre-halves have been outstanding. Man, you could go through this Grimsby side and pick every one of them out as being heroes. So they might be uncompromising, no-nonsense defenders.
Davis for Tottenham. Grimsby will be cursing the fact that you can't get replays or second leg ties in this competition anymore, because they have been better away from home this season. In fact, they've just broken a club record by winning their 6th consecutive away game in the league. The record had stretched back over 50 years when Bill Shankly was the manager here. So apart from the revenue that a trip to White Hart Lane would have brought, they would have been confident anyway. Here's Davis. Staltieri. Genus. Got away from Reddy with that little change of pace. And finds Lee. Whittle with a headed clearance. Kalala. It's a good ball for Reddy. Just tiring his first touch, untidy.
He's put a lot of effort in, hasn't he, Michael Reddy, and things are just bouncing off him at the moment. That's where Grimsby need things to stick, and they can play from there. And just give them a little bit of respite defensively.
And I remind you that if the scores are level after 90 minutes, we will have extra time, and if necessary, a penalty shootout. Cohen. And he and Kalala got in a moment's confusion there. Genus goes down and gets the free kick.
It was a little bit unfortunate, wasn't it, Cohen, there? He initially gave the ball away. Genus worked very, very hard to win it from him, and then looks as if he's done enough to win it back. Genus went to ground, the referee. Free kick to Spurs, and it's very difficult when you're playing balls into the box and you know you've really got the likes of Nabet and King.
It's touched away by Jones. But back into the danger area, my word, straight across that 6-yard box. Any kind of touch would surely have taken it in.
Well, you're just hoping somebody takes a gamble in situations like this. A fabulous ball from Jermaine Defoe. He works so hard just to create the opening for himself, and once that flashes right across the face of the goal. Now, fortunately for Grimsby, there's no Spurs player to take advantage of it.
Could have easily caused an own goal, even that. Spurs now beginning to turn the screw a little. Away by McDermott. They can't get out of their own half at the moment, Grimsby, and when they do like that, there's no one to collect.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of freshness in their ranks, don't they? I think Russell Slade will be looking at this and knowing that his side are tiring rapidly.
Brown's given it away, however. Cohen's clearance. And that's gone out for a Tottenham throw.
Well, your concentration levels drop when you do get tired, and that's when you get a little bit ragged. He'll be hoping that Spurs don't exploit that within his team at the moment. But you know, if you're going to introduce a couple of players, then it's what position? You know, the back four have done extremely well. I think Cohen's worked very hard on that right-hand side. Maybe Parkinson might just be feeling the effects. Kalala's been excellent, Bolland's been excellent, and certainly up front they need something that's going to give them a little bit of a lift.
Davis on to Lee. Holland made the challenge, but this time Lee gets round him. This is Lennon. He's looked very lively since he come on. That's a good ball too for Jermaine Genus. Jones did brilliantly, and the shot from Staltieri was well blocked by Croft.
That was an important block, wasn't it? But once again, Lennon the instigator. And I have to say, because Lennon's come on that right-hand side, it's allowed Genus a lot more freedom to make those breaks from midfield. He certainly looks as if he's enjoying the game a lot more.
Referee having a word with Bolland, I think, about one or two challenges. No yellow card has been produced as yet. Good ball back to Genus. All the big guns stood up there for Tottenham. Grimsby slammed that door closed again.
Fending's getting a little bit more desperate at the moment, though, and that'll be the worry for their manager.
Anyone who thought it would be a walkover for the Premiership side has been very much mistaken so far, as Davis looks for but fails to find King. It was Jones who won the header yet again. That's a great ball back in. Defoe was onside as well, and he acknowledges the quality of the pass.
We just need to look at the clock now, these Grimsby players, and know that there's only 15 minutes left of normal time. Now, that will give them a little bit of a lift. They really have done extremely well in every department of their team.
Davis turning it long. Defoe will keep chasing with Jones. A little bit lucky there, but Jones finds Parkinson. Lennon wasn't going to let him have his own way, nor was Genus. I'll tell you what, Jones gives up on nothing, does he?
He's having one of those nights, isn't he? And he deserves the applause that he's ringing around the ground at the moment. He really has been outstanding. He's just playing off memory at the moment. I think he's incredibly tired.
He's played every game so far for Grimsby since they signed him from Stockport County. Still relatively inexperienced player as well in the game. Not that many first-team appearances under his belt. But he can be proud of his display tonight. There's King. King wanted it back. He had other ideas. Tottenham get the throw. Naybet. And Spurs are camped in the Grimsby half now. But look who it is winning the ball back. Kalala. And again, done well this time. Reddy wanted it played early.
It was the wrong option. Parkinson had a lot of space to the left of him. You can see that Reddy is struggling now. So much into his game here this evening.
Davis. Oh, two players running into each other there, Gritton and Kalala, and Brown is the man who profits for Tottenham. Defoe's up there too, and the whistle goes in Grimsby's favour.
That's a good decision. Kalala needs to just be a little bit careful now. It talks when you get tired. Sometimes it's quite difficult, isn't it, to concentrate. And, he just needs to keep things simple. He's put a lot of energy and determination into his performance, made it very difficult for the likes of Carrick and Brown and Genus.
He's actually an international, Jean-Paul Kalala, for Congo, and he played for them in last year's African Nations Cup. Surely a push in the back there of Cohen. Linesman spotted it. The lead protests. Free kick though.
You can sense as well that these Grimsby fans believe that their side might just get something from a set piece. Talked about it all evening, about how important these situations are.
Well, Jones has been an absolute hero defensively. Can he turn into a goal-scoring hero at the other end? But it's all about deliveries. You said more than once tonight, Brian.
Yeah, it is. That's a waste, really. We talked about Kalala getting a wee bit tired, and that's reflected really in the delivery from the set piece. It's such a waste when you've got sort of the prowess of Jones and Whittle getting forward in those situations. You really need to take full advantage of them.
And now a chance at the other end. As Lee makes ground. Lennon was coming in. Important clearance by Croft. There's Altieri. Keane's layoff. Brown with the shot. Good block. Whittle this time. Kalala, crowd warning him the challenge was about to happen from Genus, but he didn't heed that warning. He's getting really tired.
He's making a lot of mistakes, but a degree of sympathy for him there, because he didn't have too many options on Kalala when he got that ball in midfield.
So he helped it on more quickly this time. It's not a bad ball as it happens. Well, he had to hold it up. There was no support available. Holland, Cohen, back to McDermott, and all the way back to the goalkeeper. Under 10 minutes to go at Blundell Park. We have to have a winner from this tie tonight. And in the next round of the competition, the 7 clubs involved in European competition enter the draw. Genus, Lennon. Kalala has it back. Good control by Grit. Here goes Reddy, up against Naybet. Plenty of other defenders covering though. Naybet didn't need the help.
That's good experience defending, but you can see there with the body language of Michael already, he's absolutely shattered at the moment. He really was looking threatening for the best part of an hour in this game. Now they've lost that a little bit from him. Whittle.
Oh, even Reddy didn't have the energy to chase that, but Parkinson has. Parkinson's done remarkably well, considering at 2 o'clock this afternoon they still didn't know whether he was going to be fit enough to play. Well, all these Grimsby players can be pleased with their performance, but there's no good getting accolades and pats on the back if you lose, and I'm sure that's how they'll be viewing these closing stages. I wonder if he's finally run out of steam. No, the ball who's going off is Cohen. Ready to stay out there. A big pat on the back for Cohen's excellent performance from his manager. And on in his place is Terry Barwick, who made his first start of the season at the weekend, as Brown wins it back from Parkinson. Staltieri. Defoe on to Lennon. 2 on the far post here, Genus and Keane. Chase hard just to keep that in, Robbie Keane. Now Lee. Brown. Here's Naybet. Well played, Bolland. Britton. And try and get the new man, Barwick, on the ball, as McDermott angles it forward for Reddy. Excellent defending from King, but it is a Grimsby throw.
I'll be delighted with that one. They just take the game now to Spurs if you can. What have you got in the tank as far as energy goes? A lot of these players will just be running off adrenaline at the moment.
Whittle. Oh, how about that? He'll tell his grandchildren about that moment, won't he? There's Barwick. McDermott. It's good link-up play. Gritton. Barwick's there again. So too is McDermott. Good football. And he keeps going. What a story that could have been. Parkinson's onto it in a flash. Well, a man playing his 700th game at the age of 36. Still had the energy to get forward in that Grimsby attack, but talk about energy. The 18-year-old shows a wonderful turn of speed, but then not the cross to match it. Now Davis. There's Lee. Michael Brown. On to Staltieri. I don't even need to tell you who won the header. He's won just about every one so far, Jones. Lee. The foul has been given against Barwick. Into the last 5 minutes at Blundell Park. Grimsby must concentrate hard now to avoid throwing away the endeavours of a great night's work by them. A wasteful free kick.
You certainly expect better, don't you? The quality that main Genus possesses. I'm sure Russell Slade, hopefully they'll get to the full-time whistle and just go around each and every one of them and tell them what big heroes that they already are, but bigger heroes they could become. If they can beat this Tottenham Hotspur side, and the quality that Spurs have out there tonight on the pitch, his side being more than a match.
Here's Keane for Tottenham. A gift for Grimsby. What can they make of it? Not a lot. Well, already hasn't given up on it yet and forced Robinson into the clearance, which lands on the roof just above us. Don't forget, tomorrow night from this competition, another live tie. Doncaster Rovers against Manchester City. Sky Sports 2. We start at 7.
The Grimsby fans have just turned up the noise levels. And they're going to need to do that now because their team need a big lift. Fans can really play their part.
Croft finds Reddy from the throw-in. On to Parkinson. Davis got a foot in. And Jones wins it back off Davis very impressively. Here's Parkinson. Quite happy for that to go for a corner. Is this to be Grimsby's big moment? All hands on deck for Tottenham.
I really do get the feeling that if Grimsby do score, they're probably through the head of Rob Jones. He's been absolutely magnificent for the home side tonight.
Little's up there with him. Ready inside the 6-yard box as well. Oh, it's gone in! Unbelievable! Kalala! A hefty deflection on the way, but do they care? They certainly don't. One of the greatest moments in Grimsby's recent history. They might well have beaten Tottenham Hotspur.
What a strike, son. What a strike. I'll tell you what, the technique and the concentration that went into that strike was absolutely top draw. There's a slight deflection from Michael Brown, but I still think that would have hit the back of the net. Such was the pace and the power. It's past Paul Robinson before he can react. And what a great moment for the manager, for the fans, for the players. But what a big moment they're going to have now, and just holding out for these last few minutes.
An incredible story unfolding here beside the Humber Estuary, where Grimsby Town of League 2 are now beating Premiership Tottenham Hotspur by 1-0 with only a couple of minutes remaining plus stoppage time. And Grimsby have a free kick.
Anyway, that came about, Alan, was when Rob Jones won a challenge from a Spurs player that resulted in the corner kick. And it's ironic, actually, we talked about what a threat Grimsby could be from set pieces, but it was almost the second phase because they'd won a header at the near post. Spurs thought they cleared their lines, but they didn't reckon on the strike from Kalala on the edge of the box.
There it is, in lights. And Reddy has got in behind the Spurs back four again. It was a terrific strike by Kalala. Jean-Paul Kamudimba Kalala. He moved here from Nice. I'm not suggesting for one moment that the Humber Estuary is any less attractive than the French Riviera, but it has to be one of the unlikeliest moves of the summer season. You might not be able to spell his name, but you'll remember it after tonight. Spurs certainly will. Reddy's offside.
But they've got something to hang on to now. You know, it's been 1-0 ahead. And through a wonderful volley from that man on the edge of the box. We had a brief chat with him before the game, didn't we? Seemed a nice kid, really enjoying his time at Grimsby. Well, and certainly be the hero of Grimsby.
It's not over yet, though. Keane swivels. And there's another hero, Steve Mildenhall.
Just couldn't get enough power on the strike, could he, Robbie Keane? It was a half chance, comfortable save for the goalkeeper in the end.
3 minutes of stoppage time being played here at Blundell Park as Reddy tries to make it certain for Grimsby. He might have had a little push there. Robinson launches it long, a hint of desperation about Tottenham's tactics now. Whittle's back header straight to his own goalkeeper. They're counting the seconds here in this remote football outpost that hasn't seen too many nights like this in recent years. Remember, it was 5 seasons ago when Grimsby went to play Liverpool at Anfield and beat them 2-1 after extra time. A strong Liverpool side as well. They beat Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday when they were both Premiership clubs. And here could be another result that will go into folklore.
I have to say, Alan, it's been fully deserved. They've worked hard, in good shape to their side, every department. They've carried out the instructions of their manager. Spurs have had a couple of opportunities, but they haven't really troubled Mildenhall on that many occasions. But can they hang on?
Robinson launched the free kick as deep as he can find. King got up, Jones headed it away, Jones is there again. A wild effort then, takes the ball well wide of the Grimsby goal, and a disappointed Jermaine Jenas has almost accepted defeat now. And looking at the body language of those Tottenham players, he's not alone in that.
You can see it from the strike from Jermaine Jenas. Well, big upsets don't come along that often, do they, at Blundell Park? And they're on the verge of one.
When you're in the basement division of English football, you don't get many moments like this. But they haven't clinched victory yet. Tottenham are throwing everyone forward. Under a minute to go as Brown swings it in. Jones is there, and so is the final whistle. Grimsby have beaten Spurs. Unbelievable, and I have to say, thoroughly deserved. Thousands of fans pouring onto the pitch, and there's the main man, Jean-Paul Kamudimba Kalala from the Congo, via Nice to the Humber Estuary to stardom overnight. Kalala has KO'd Tottenham. And this modest young man, whose biggest disappointment of the night was that Noé Paramo, the Tottenham defender who he used to play with at Nice, wasn't in the squad because he was injured. Now has a very good reason to celebrate, if he can make his way back to the dressing rooms, that is. Well, for clubs like this, who received a cheque for £5,000 from their supporters trust before the kick-off, money is everything. But tonight is not about money. They've beaten Tottenham. They could draw another big club in the next round. But this is about glory, not about cash. Wonderful scenes here. And even those big tankers out in the estuary will be rocking to the sounds from this historic old ground. And if one man deserves to be hoisted aloft, it's him.
It was terrific, wasn't it? I don't know whether he's standing up or he's actually on somebody's shoulders. He's that big, but he was really a magnificent presence. I have to say, I think at times Spurs played into the hands of the two centre-backs because they just launched balls in there, and Whittle and Rob Jones were absolutely magnificent. But they deserve everything that's come their way tonight, those Grimsby players. And not many want to leave the pitch because it's moments like this that you treasure, you value, you hang on to as long as you possibly can. And I tell you what, those fans will take some shifting. I tell you what, I'm going out with them boys tonight, aren't you? That'll be some party in Grimsby.
I think it'll be more than fish and chips on the menu tonight. You cannot begrudge Grimsby their moment of glory. They played exceptionally well here tonight. And even in the second half, when Tottenham were pouring forward in their droves, they never really looked in serious trouble. And then they got that golden goal. Grimsby Town 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Thanks, Alan. That is what cup football is all about. What a result for Grimsby Town. 60 places between those two teams, and you wouldn't have known it tonight. Grimsby 1, Tottenham 0. 88th minute, Jean-Paul Kamudimba Kalala lets all do the Congo. And everybody is, including manager Russell Slade, who's beaten Tottenham again, and here he is in a dressing room full of mayhem.
Russell, 11 years ago, you're the manager of Notts County, knocked Tottenham out the League Cup. You've done it again tonight. Describe your emotions.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I mean, the lads were tremendous tonight. Their attitude throughout the game was superb. The game plan was brilliant. They've lost the discipline now, of course, but we'll recover from that. No, it's a great night for the town, for the club, supporters, players alike. We deserved it because we worked so hard so far this season, and the important thing is we now need to keep that going.
The longer the game went on in the second half, were you thinking we've done well here to perhaps take it into extra time? Did you always fancy you could nick one?
That was the last thing I needed, extra time. That was the last thing I needed was extra time tonight, I tell you. What about the orange? I wanted the game over quickly. But as it happens, to get a goal in the last 5 minutes was ideal, wasn't it?
What do you think of the goal?
Oh, great finish. He's had a great game tonight, as all 11 of them have tonight, yeah.
Jean-Paul alongside you, you're the biggest name in football in your shirt, and you certainly will be the biggest name in the headlines tomorrow morning. What do you think of winning it?
I don't know, I'm just happy for the team because we worked so hard in this game, and everybody, I'm happy for everybody.
What was going through your mind at the goal when the ball broke to you off the corner?
I was just happy, you know. Every time I hit the ball is going over the top. So this time I hit the target, and I'm happy for that.
Jean-Paul, you are the Carling man of the match tonight. Well played.
Okay, thank you.